Hello everyone, John here, and for around a decade, Bandai Namco have been partially responsible for some of Nintendo's biggest games. When Nintendo started to transition into HD development, their resources just cost them more than they could afford, in terms of manpower and time. And so they started partnering with someone very experienced in HD development, being Bandai Namco. And together they have made many games like Mario Kart and Smash, and ARMS, and Pokken, and new Pokemon Snap, and Mario Kart Tour, and the list goes on and on and on. However, in the credits, thus far at least, it has always just been Bandai Namco. It's never been a specific studio. We've just kind of assumed that members of Bandai Namco are formed into a temporary team whenever these Nintendo projects crop up. Although, that's not the case. A member on Family Boards, N75, found job listings. And these job listings themselves are interesting, and we'll look into them in just a bit. But what's really interesting is they specify Studio 2 and Studio S. So who are Studio 2 and Studio S? Well, they have a website. So let's look at them. Come on, everyone. Let's go over here. So this is the website for Studio 2 and Studio S. And if we scroll down a bit, we can see what they've worked on in the past. And it's a pretty massive portfolio. We're talking Super Smash Bros. For Wii U and 3DS. We are talking Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. We're talking Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, ARMS, Mario Kart Tour, and Mario Sports Superstars. Now, what I find quite peculiar about this portfolio is it does not convey all of the works that Bandai Namco have worked on with Nintendo. It does not cover Wii Sports Club. It does not cover new Pokemon Snap, or Pokken DX. So clearly this is not the only Bandai Namco team working on Nintendo projects, but the core purpose of this studio is to collaborate, and their entire list of games are Nintendo games. So while it may not say outright that they are a Bandai Namco Nintendo studio, they may as well be, because that's all they've ever done for 10 plus years. We've got a few stats about the studio too. We know they are 22% women and 78% men. There's 152 of them. They have a good work from home balance where 89% of employees can work from home. And they generally just seem like a really good studio. And from their output, we know they're very talented too. Now, what were those job listings, I hear you ask? Well, these were elaborated on a bit more by user Mondo Mega. And Mondo Mega has basically found that they are employing for 2 games. A 3D action game, and a 2D action game. Now, you're probably thinking about a couple of projects there. Let's specify the 2D one first, because I think we can probably make a pretty reasonable assumption. This studio is the Super Smash Bros. Studio. They have been ever since Smash 3DS and Wii U. Ever since HAL left the development of Smash. HAL did Smash 64, Melee, and Brawl. And now, Bandai Namco, Studio 2, Studio S, are the devs of Smash. So if there is a 2D action game, it is a pretty safe assumption that these are the developers behind them. And given we are transitioning into a new console, it would not be out of the realm of possibility that they are making a new Smash right now. That does beg the question, is Sakurai aware? Is it going to be something where these guys have been working on Smash for a while, they reveal it, and then they go, hey Sakurai, please can you come back to direct it? Or maybe he's already doing it, or maybe there's a new director entirely. We don't know. We don't even know if this is an assumption. We don't know if this is Smash, but I think it very likely is. Now when it comes to a 3D action game, we've known for a while too that Bandai Namco are remastering a game. And if they are remastering a Nintendo game, it probably does fall into the realm of Studio 2, Studio S. And, look, buddy. I live in a constant realm of false hope. And I think if any studio were to remaster Kid Icarus Uprising, it would be these guys. They have direct ties to Sakurai. They've worked with the tools that he used for Super Smash Bros. 3DS, Wii U, and Ultimate. They are the studio who would most likely take on a remaster or a remake of that game. And can you imagine Kid Icarus on a console, gyro controls, online intact, just everything that made this game special but amplified in HD would be monumental. But yeah, this is just a really interesting studio all in all. It's great that we finally have a name to them, because all these years we've just sort of assumed that it's just general Bandai Namco. That Sakurai puts a team together whenever he's making a Smash game through Bandai Namco employees. But now we know they are a permanent fixture within the studio of Bandai Namco. And that seemingly they just kind of exist to co-develop Nintendo games. Which is wild. It's wild that a third party that has no ownership from Nintendo has a support team pretty much just dedicated to them. It is also, of course, very likely that this studio is also co-developing Mario Kart 9 right now, given that they worked on Mario Kart 8, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and Mario Kart Tour. So it just kind of makes sense that they would transition into the next Mario Kart 2, which I would figure is probably finished by now. It is probably either a launch title or a launch window title. You know, I base this off nothing, but I have to assume they've been sitting on this game for a while. You know, Mario Kart 8 is nearly 10 years old. Of course they've been working on Mario Kart 9 in the background. And of course they want it near launch, given that Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, on its own, has sold like 60 million copies. Pretty much anyone who buys a Nintendo system is going to buy Mario Kart 2. That's just the way it works. So it would be foolish not to have it near the launch of the next console. And with Mario Kart 8 and Tour both wrapped up on support, we all know it's coming. Come on, we all know it's coming. But yeah, Studio 2, Studio S. What a strange occurrence, but they are here. I guess there's a chance that their list of portfolio work on this page does not list some games like Wii Sports Club and Pokemon Snap and Pokken, but why would they list Mario Sports Superstars but not Pokken? New Pokemon Snap. So I've got to assume that those three were just separate studios within Bandai Namco. But yeah, we know that this is the Nintendo team. Studio 2, Studio S. Alright guys, and I'll catch you next time. Bye!